Hey guys, Mike the Gaming Dad here and welcome back to the channel. So it's been about 7 months now since I released a video called Is This the Worst Quest in Skyrim? A video about No Stone Unturned, a rather ridiculous fetch quest whereby you have to find 26 of these across Skyrim to restore a crown, which by the way is also lost, and you, the Dragonborn, have to find it. Now 26 is a lot, right? We need a map to find all of these across an entire province. Well, no actually. Unless you download a mod for it, you get no help whatsoever. God bless the internet, because without it I wouldn't have found all 26, that's for sure. Now at least with No Stone Unturned though, it feels like it has a purpose. It sits as part of the wider Thieves Guild questline, and after the crown is repaired it sits in all its glory in the trophy room. Also when you complete it, you get the Prowler's Profit perk, which basically turns every urn, pot and chest you loot into a gold mine of jewellery and gems. A fitting prize for a tough challenge. Well, I may have found a contender for the actual worst quest in Skyrim. It's not even a full quest, it's just a miscellaneous one. A kind of sub-quest if you will, not worthy of giving actual quest status. And it exists on the small island of Solstheim. And this isn't new by the way, I think it's been in the game since probably the special edition came out. I've just never finished it or bothered to look it up until now. You can start it by asking the merchant, Fethis Alor, if he sells any special mining gear, at which point he will say no, although he used to sell EAST Empire Pendants until he ran out of them. And you know what's coming. I'll just let this dialogue play out.
It's an amulet that was made exclusively for the EAST Empire Company. They gave them to their workers as an incentive at one point, a kind of reward for extra effort. They're no longer being made, so they've become a collectible. I'd love to get my hands on a few of them. They could be anywhere on the island. The mines might be a good place to start. If you find any while you're exploring Solstheim, bring them here, and I'll pay you for them.
I accidentally cut the video before, but listen to what he says here when you leave.
The EAST Empire pendants are scattered all over, so leave no stone unturned.
Leave no stone unturned. Ha ha ha. I mean seriously, it's like Bethesda are mocking me. Thanks Todd. All 33 of the pendants are on Solstheim, which is a benefit I suppose as it's a much smaller area in comparison to Skyrim. So let's do this, shall we? So there's quite a few of them in Raven Rock to begin with. One of them is underwater. If you dive in, it's underneath the pier here. Each one of these is an expert lock by the way, so you'll need a fair few lockpicks. There's leveled treasure inside though as well, which is nice, and my character is level 38, which is generally always quite good. And this is what we are looking for. Next, look inside the Corellius house. If it's locked, just make sure you aren't being watched. Once inside, it's in the first room inside this corner. Some of these will say steal from by the way, if they are inside homes. Don't worry though, if you steal the pendant, you can still sell it. Now move up one more door to the bulwark. In here, just head all the way along and you'll find it on the table at the end. Now head down to Morvain Manor. Once in here, head upstairs to the manor chambers and you'll find the box to the left of the door in front of you. From here, head up to the temple and talk to the elder. Ask him about the tombs and he'll say it's infested with ash spawn. Tell him you'll sort it out and he'll give you the key so you can get inside. There's a lot of ash spawn in here and they just keep coming, but once dealt with you'll find the box in the burial pit at the far end. Now head down to Glover Mallory's house and you'll find the box on the table in the first room. Now go into the Alor house. Yes, there is one inside the house of the person who wants to buy them. Head downstairs and then round to the left and it's on the table at the far end of the bedroom. From here just head next door to the Retching Netch, and downstairs there is one underneath the bar, although this one can be hard to get due to it being difficult to get yourself hidden here. And the final two in Raven Rock are inside the mine. The first one of these can be found upstairs underneath the table. And the second is down inside the mine, past the frostbite spiders, and this hole which you need to bash through, and just here on this box. From here make your way to the wreck of the Strident Squall, the most southerly part of Solstheim, and once you've dealt with the Reavers, head down to the ship and it's on a bookcase directly in front of you. Now head northwest up to Hrodulf's house. If you're going around the other side to where the big hole is, there's a small cabinet next to a bookshelf, and the box is inside. Continue heading in a northwesterly direction to Fort Frostmoth. You want to go inside the door on the left. And once in here, the strongbox isn't far. Just head round this corner to where the bookcases have fallen over, and it's in the right one. Now we are going to go to Brodeer Cove in the centre of the island. The one here is located here next to the central fire on a long wooden box. Now head east from here to the ramshackle trading post. And the box is just outside on the west side of the shack. Continue east from Ramshackle Trading Post to Ashfellow Citadel, and there is a few near here. The first one is inside on this bookcase on the left hand side that's partially covered by ash. Go back outside and now head northwest until you find the river. Follow this river until you find the gate. Now you can't access this place from the gate, however you can climb up the wall to the right hand side, so let's do that and then we can drop down inside. The box you'll find upstairs. Now go back to Ashfellow Citadel and head west. You should see a small reaver camp on the opposite side of the river. Deal with the reavers and then the box is at their camp. Now you want to go to this location here, and this is where Valok's tomb is, if you have completed up to that point in the story. Before that point it's covered by rocks and an unmarked location. Facing south, turn southeast and head over the rocks to find the aftermath of a Reekling ambush, and the Reekling may be nearby still. But the strongbox is at this camp next to the tent. And that concludes all of them in the ashy southern part of the island. Now for the ones in the snowy northern section. The first of these is near Damphall Mine. From here head north up this hill towards these trees. Round this rock and you'll find it amongst these barrels and boxes. Beware another Reekling ambush though. Continue north up the coast to Bristleback Cave. You'll have to fight your way past quite a few Reekling here, but the box is amongst these boxes here. From Bristleback Cave, head north up to North Shore Landing. The box is just inside the hut on this bookcase. Continue east around the shore, you'll find Glacial Cave. And the box here is just outside the entrance, half buried by snow. Swing back to Bristleback Cave now and head up the steep slopes to Broken Tusk Mine. You'll find the box just outside next to this wheel. Head along the Rocky Mountains to Benkongarike, and this one is right at the end of the dungeon in the main chamber. Head along here and you'll find it next to the Reekling hut. Now head southwest to Hrothmund's Barrow. Turn west down the slope, and then southeast up the slope. Eventually you'll find a small camp with a dead reaver, and the box is located on the floor. From here head south to Mosering Pass for two more. The first one is located northward on this crate, just up from the odd looking cart that has a moose's head on. And for the second one, head south this time and down this snowy slope. Then turn east and eventually you'll find a shrine of Zenithar where the box can be found. That's all the mainland ones done. Now go to Hackneer's Shoal. The first one here is found inside this tent. Now turn and you want to swim northward to that island over there, which is an odd place, infested with Reekling which are friendly and don't attack you on sight. The strongbox is found by climbing up their towers to the highest point. Now make the short journey from Hackneer's Shoal to Frostle. In this room which has the tripwires, the box can be found on the south side on the floor here. And now a short swim to another random little island, this time to this one here which has Nirnroot and Spriggans on. You don't need to engage the Spriggans if you don't wish, just swim to this boat and the box is inside. And now for the final one. This is Hawker Island, east of the Skal village. On the east side here is a ship which is broken in two. Jump in the water here and the other half of the ship is below. The strongbox is just here next to a chest. And now we have all 33 pendants. Should we see what we get for such a mammoth task?
I'm beginning to like this partnership. Here you go.
Well, Fethisk has given us 16,500 gold for all 33 pendants. That's 500 per pendant, so I mean it's no small chunk of change. But that seems to be it. No fanfare, no quest completion, no special power gained. If you talk to him again, there doesn't seem to be any dialogue about it. That's it. It just finishes here. And this is probably my fault, but I didn't deliberately look this up first. I just wanted to get them all and see what the end result was. But I couldn't help but feel a little bit flat afterwards. I mean, you end up with a ton of other stuff along with all the gold. I have loads of rings and amulets, not to mention an absolute ton of jewels, 18 amethyst, 9 diamonds, 3 Debella statues, 11 emeralds, 8 flawless emeralds. The list goes on. But what do you think of this fetch quest? I guess the one benefit could be doing a few of these super early on. Some are very easy to find, and 500 gold a pop is a lot early game. Especially when your speech skill is low, you don't get a lot of gold for selling items. But you could come here, collect a dozen of these say, and you're laughing your way to owning a home. I wanted to pull this together though on the back of my No Stone Unturned video. Having done this, I think this is probably worse overall. But what do you reckon? Do you think it's worthwhile using this quest more as a quick way of earning some easy gold early on, and then just ignore the rest of it? I'm Mike the Gaming Dad, and I do the ridiculous fetch quest so you don't have to. See you next time.